Um, my question is about the relationship between two things. On the one hand, the way we talk in non-duality about consciousness or being, um, and the way in other systems that I've studied in, like yoga and Tibetan Buddhism, they talk a lot about energy, like the life force energy in the body, um, Kundalini, chakras, all those kinds of things, nadis and channels. And my question is about the relationship between the non-dual understanding of consciousness and this embodied energetic sense of being that we experience in the body, right? And are they sort of the same thing?
Um, well, consciousness is not an experience in the body, although it is all there is to our experience of the body. All there is to our experience of the body is our consciousness of it, the knowing of it. If you close your eyes, Hunter, your only experience of the body is the current sensation. And all there is to a sensation is the experience of sensing. And all there is to sensing is the knowing of it. So our experience, the body is an experience in consciousness. So there is much more to consciousness than just the body. So the body is, we could say, it's pervaded by consciousness. We could say, if we credit the body with an existence of its own, we could say it's pervaded by consciousness. It's like saying if we credit the landscape in a movie with an existence of its own, then we could say the landscape is pervaded by the screen. At a deeper level, it's not true because there's no landscape. There's really no landscape there, either to be pervaded or not to be pervaded by the screen. But that's why I say if we credit the landscape with an existence of its own, then we can say it's pervaded by the screen. If we consider that the body is a physical body, in other words, if we credit it with an existence of its own, then we can say as a concession, it's pervaded by being or consciousness. And how do we feel that? How do we experience that? Well, either as the knowing with which the experience of the body is known, or the feeling of being. If we think that the feeling of being is in the body, then the feeling of being could be said to be the felt sense of consciousness in the body, just the pure feeling of being.
Often when you direct us to sort of go to our being, that's where I go first, to that felt being in the body.
That's good. Ultimately, being is not a feeling, but you're quite right. For if our attention is lost either in our thoughts or in the outside world, then the body and the deepest aspect, either the body itself, a sensation in the body, or the felt sense of being, is a very good stepping stone from our thoughts or the world back to our true nature. So the feeling of being is not yet pure being, but it's we could say it's pure being as it's felt in the body. So it's good to go. Let's say your thoughts are very agitated, tumultuous thoughts. It's good to go from there to a sensation in your body, go from there to the feeling of being, and go from there to pure being. So yes, the body is a good stepping stone on the way back to your true nature.
There's another framework that you refer to sometimes, which is Shiva and Shakti. Is that sort of another way of understanding this, in the sense that the Shiva aspect is like our um, formless consciousness, and the Shakti aspect is this energetic.
Well, yes, the Shiva is pure consciousness or pure being, pure aware being, and Shiva is everything else: thoughts, images, feelings, the body, the world, everything. And um, Shakti is, in this case, did I say that right? Did I say Shakti was everything else? Yes, Shiva is pure consciousness. Shakti is everything else. So, in contemporary language, I would say yes. Shiva is pure consciousness. Shakti is the activity or the movement of pure consciousness, which appears to a human mind as the world that we know. So, really, what we're experiencing when we look at the world is the activity of consciousness, Shakti, Shiva's activity. It just appears as a world because we look at it through the lens of sense perception. So yes, everything, the body, the world, our thoughts, our feelings, irrespective of their content, is Shakti, the movement of consciousness. The analogy I often use, Shiva is the screen, Shakti is the movie.
Hmm. We're ordinarily so hypnotized by the Shakti experience that we forget to look inwards at the Shiva.
Yes, the Shakti aspect of our experience, objective experience, thoughts, feelings, memories, sensations, perceptions, are so colorful and interesting and demanding, either because they're so pleasant or because they're so unpleasant, that we tend to overlook. It's our being. It's like you get lost in a movie, and we tend to overlook or forget the fact that we're seeing a screen. So yes, exactly, because experience is so intoxicating, we overlook our essential nature or being, pure consciousness or being. Yes, exactly. And therefore, at least to begin with, because of this imbalance in our experience, we're imbalanced in favor of objective experience, thoughts, feelings, relationships, activities. For this reason, in order to redress this imbalance, the spiritual traditions, both the Vedantic and the Tantric approaches, they start with this turning away from the content of experience back towards our true nature of pure consciousness. The reason that we start with this turning away from experience is just because we're ordinarily lost in experience. So to counteract that habit, we turn away from experience, come back to our true nature. It's then necessary to go back to the experience from which we previously turned away and have a balanced approach towards which includes both our knowledge of ourself and indeed the ultimate reality as of infinite consciousness, but also the relative experience from which we previously turned away.
Thank you so much.
Nice to see you again, Hunter.
Nice to see you as well.